What can we expect on gold after this whole issue between US, Israel against Iran? Now I have a note here. Boom. Now, when there is uncertainties in the world, now uncertainties can be war, can be war. This issue between US, Israel, and Iran is a war or can be a war because if you listen to Donald Trump's speech, he mentioned war, that it could possibly be a war, right? Boom. Now, another uncertainty can be like a pandemic, right? Like coronavirus, when we had to go on lockdown and everyone was indoors, right? That can be an uncertainty. Now, people tend to move their funds to safe haven assets. Now, what are safe haven assets? Safe haven assets are investments expected to retain or increase in value during market volatility, economic downturns, or geopolitical turmoil. Now, this definition is from Google AI, right? Now, what is it trying to say? So it's basically trying to say that okay, when there is market volatility, economic downturns, or geopolitical turmoil, safe haven assets are investments that retain their value during those times. Now, gold is a safe haven asset. Now, since we've known all this information now, what are we expecting from gold? I'm expecting for gold to go bullish as soon as market opens. We should potentially see 5.3. Now we are above 5.250. As you can see, we are above 5.250. Potentially we should see 5.3, and we don't know how far it's going to go. Right? We don't know how far, depending on how volatile it is. That would depend how far we could go. But for sure, we are going to smash 5.3. Now, how can we capitalize on this whole movement since we know price is going to go bullish, right? How can we capitalize on it? Now, that's where the charts come in. If you look at the daily time frame, you can see that we've already made a high. So this is a higher high, right? We are bullish, and as we know, in a bullish market, we go from higher lows to higher highs, higher lows to higher highs, from higher highs to higher lows to higher highs to higher lows, like that, like that. That's a bullish structure. Now we are at a higher high potentially, and this should continue bullish, right? Should go up. Now on the lower time frames, what we have to do is just have to wait for price to make a new higher low for we to enter. Now if you go to the 2-hour time frame, on the 2-hour time frame, potentially I'm expecting for price to bust past this zone here, which is the 5.3 zone here. I'm expecting for price to push all the way up because of the whole this whole thing with US, Israel, and Iran. Yeah, that is going to cause a lot of volatility on gold, and with the way it's going, and it's going to potentially, they are saying it's going to last for days or even weeks. So that should cause a lot of volatility. So I'm expecting for price to go to break above this zone. Once we're able to break above that 5.3 zone, because that 5.3 zone is also around this, if you check back to this zone, is also a resistance zone. It was a resistance, it acted as a resistance zone here, and also on the 1 hour time frame, it also acted as a support zone, right? Let's go to 1 hour time frame so that you can see that it acted as a support zone too. Boom. You see the price action here. At this zone, we use it as a resistance, 5.3 as a resistance. Now at this zone, we use it as a support, and I see price breaking above that zone, right? So what we will be expecting for price is for price to break above it, because this whole, just like I said, this whole issue, that's going to cause a lot of volatility. So price will push up and we are potentially going to touch and even potentially break above 5.3. Now, what we'll do is, like we said, bullish structure, higher highs to higher lows, higher highs to higher lows. What we just do is to wait for a discount price. Once we break above, I'm not saying this zone is where we are going to go to, right? I'm just using this as an example. This is like an example. A potential zone that we might use as a new higher low zone will be this zone, this support zone. It acted as a resistance, and now potentially we might use this zone as a support zone. So if you can get price retrace up to this, down to this zone, then yeah, enter longs from there, targeting this high, because this week potentially I feel this week potentially we should hit this high on the daily time frame, which is 5.4. Yeah, potentially I see price going to 5.4 this week because of the whole issue, right? Because I feel there's going to be a lot of volatility in the markets. What high am I talking of? This high here. Now, I'm not specifically saying this high, the high of high. I'm just saying the candle, where the candle close, or and where the candle open, which is this, not the week, right? Not the week high, but the body of the candle high, right? Which is around this zone, which is around 5.4 zone. Yeah, I feel potentially this week we should hit 5.4 this week. So back to, let's go to the 2-hour time frame. Just like I said, we just wait for a new higher low zone. Like we said, if you look at the price action before, this zone here, boom, this was acted as a resistance zone, right? So once we break above, potentially I'm seeing that zone as a zone where price is going to use as a new, as a higher low zone, or that should act as a higher low zone for price to push all the way up to 5.4, because potentially we might see 5.4 this week. Not necessarily Monday, it might be on Monday, who knows? Depending on how volatile it is, who knows? It might be on Monday. But within the week, we should get, before the end of the week, we should see price go to 5.4 potentially. I'm just saying this speculatively, right? Speculatively, and just saying it all just because of the fact that we are having an uncertainty in the world right now, or a just like ChatGPT said, a turmoil, right? A geopolitical turmoil, right, between US, Israel versus Iran. So yeah, that should cause a lot of volatility in the markets this week. So like we always say, in a bullish structure, we just have to wait for a new higher low. So don't try to, like, I know some people want to try to get in like for no, a more like calculated approach will be for you to wait for a new higher low zone. And now this zone which I use here, I'm not saying this is the zone is going to be, but speculatively, yeah, this can be a zone that price reacts from or use as a higher low zone speculatively. But we might go lower, who knows? But I don't think we are going to have any type of steep retracement because of this whole thing, right? I don't think we are going to have any type of steep retracement. But even though we have a steep retracement, we know that all these zone is valid. All these zone from this zone down here are all valid higher low zone, as long as we don't break below this zone. So yeah. But like I said, I don't think we are going to have any type of steep retracement. So we just wait for a new higher low zone, which might potentially could be here, anywhere the price goes to. Just look for that new higher low zone, and then we target 5,400. Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of volatility in the market this week potentially. So yeah, just trade safely, because like we said, there's going to be a lot of volatility. I think the 1 hour time frame should be a cool zone for we to wait for a new higher low zone for we to enter longs. We'll just watch and see how the market reacts, or what price action we are going to is going to print on gold for this coming week. But for sure, we are going to be bullish, right? Especially on Monday, we are going to be bullish, especially on Monday. We might even see a gap. Who knows? We might see a gap because this whole incident happened on Saturday, happened on the weekend, right? So we might potentially see a gap, who knows? But yeah, we should be bullish. Just wait for a new higher low zone for we to enter and trade safely, guys. Please like, subscribe. Thank you.